They were the king and queen of reality show excess. But tonight, Teresa and Joe Giudice face a new, harsh reality after finding out they're both headed to prison. On TV, they seemed to have it all, and they weren't afraid to flaunt it, which is precisely what landed them in hot water again today as the judge handed down her sentence. Orange is the new Jersey.
You stupid bitch!
She's best known for throwing tables on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. But tonight, the tables are turning on Teresa Giudice, her children now dealing with more serious drama.
Mommy deals with everything.
I obviously know what's going on. I'm old enough to comprehend and understand what's going on.
Both Teresa and Joe had pled guilty to multiple charges of loan and bankruptcy fraud. But today, just before sentencing, the reality star begging for no jail time sobbed, saying she was in deep depression and humbled by the experience.
She spoke to the court in a shaky voice and at times sobbing, saying that I'm finally realizing what it is that I've done. I need to wake up. I need to take responsibility.
Teresa even claims she no longer cares about handbags after being seen on the show House Hunting with this $2,000 Valentino purse just a few weeks ago. Today, a more remorseful former Real Housewife. But U.S. District Court Judge Esther Salas was unmoved, sentencing Giudice to 15 months, saying, "My gut tells me Teresa Giudice deserves to be in jail. After she completes her time, her husband Joe will take his turn, serving a 3.5-year sentence."
She was never convinced that Teresa Giudice, until her statement to the court, actually realized the enormity of what she did wrong and what she was facing.
For their 4 young children, those sentences add up to nearly 5 years of single parenting. Earlier this year, Teresa opened up exclusively to my colleague Amy Robach about how the charges were affecting her family.
I'm a role model for them. I can't just be upset and crawl up in a ball and just go in a room and lock the door.
When the door is shut and they are in bed, do you get to do that?
Yes. And I do that.
In their reality show bubble, they seem to have it all. The lavish parties, the flashy home, and a loving family.
I love you.
But beneath the shiny exterior, a different reality. They were charged with filing false W-2s for Teresa and illegally obtaining construction loans and mortgages. And for Joe, tax evasion, too, to the tune of more than $1 million, putting the true cost of fame into sharp perspective.
The fact that she's a celebrity, as the judge said today, played no role in what her punishment was. But we do believe that it's important, and you can see from the number of people who are here covering the story, that when someone like Teresa Giudice and Giuseppe Giudice are investigated, prosecuted, and sentenced for these kinds of white-collar crime, that it does send a message.
ABC's Ryan Smith says the judge's sentence steered clear of the question of fame.
I think the judge is absolutely trying to send a message. I think she wants to send the message of, just because you're a big star doesn't mean you can avoid prison if you violate the law. Teresa asked in that courtroom, maybe I can serve house arrest. I want to be there with my 4 daughters. But the judge, even though she acknowledged she was thinking about something like that, she said, no. You have to serve the time if you commit the crime.
The Giudice's first round of legal troubles putting everything in jeopardy.
Things happen in life, and now Mommy and Daddy have to deal with it the best we know how. I just don't want you and your sisters, to be affected by it.
Showing the Real Housewife like she's never been seen before.
I hate us being in the newspaper. I hate us being on the news. We were on every single channel. It's I hate seeing that. Yeah, so I do cry myself to sleep sometimes.
Babe, we are human, you know what I mean?
This family cannot function without you. And despite what people say, this is not going to be our last Christmas together.
It's a humiliating reversal of fortune for a family drenched in opulence. Now, the Giudices scrambling to sell their New Jersey-style faux chateau, the backdrop for many a reality brawl. The price tag, just under $4 million. A temple of excess falling victim to their harsh new reality. Also on the market, their vacation home on the Jersey Shore, which they're listing at a loss for $315,000, trying to move quickly with the clock ticking down.
And so that's when the emotion ratcheted up in the courtroom, and the judge was really angry at them.
At one point, the judge pointed at Teresa Giudice and said, "You don't have respect for the law. I'm not convinced. I truthfully don't know that you know what you did was wrong." And that factored into her sentence. At one point, the judge said, "I was prepared for probation." But then, once she realized that Teresa Giudice didn't come clean on her financial disclosure, she said, "You merit incarceration."
The judge handed down a life lesson from the bench.
It may seem trivial that she was seen in social media carrying a $2,000 purse, and yet that kind of, sort of opulence weighed heavily on the judge's sentence.
The judge wanted to make sure that Teresa Giudice understood that what built her financial empire, or what built the ability to get the handbags and the cars and the nice house, was all based on a fraud.
But the judge did describe the couple as clearly loving parents and is even allowing the family to spend Christmas holidays together before Teresa trades in her designer duds for Clinker Couture in early January. And yet the family's long-term future remains uncertain. After Joe serves out his sentence, he may be facing deportation back to his native Italy.
Joe's serving 41 months in prison, and while he may end up serving part of that term, he needs to be prepared to serve the full amount, those full 41 months. And then after that, he could be looking at deportation. So even after he gets out of prison, this may not be over for him.
The Giudices unquestionably love their kids. That was apparent in their statements. It was apparent from what the defense attorney said. But the judge said if you really loved your kids, you have to teach them discipline. If you don't have it, you shouldn't be spending it.